Seth with APS EdTech. Today we're using Google Sites to build a classroom website to communicate with parents and your community better.
Let's talk about getting to Google Sites. I'm going to show you 3 or 4 different ways to get to Google Sites. The first and probably easiest way, if you open Google Chrome and you have a home page that looks like this, you can find the Google waffle, and this will work from any of the Google websites. You find the Google waffle right here, click on that, scroll down some, and there's Google Sites. We'll take you right to it. Another way to get there, if you don't like the waffle, another way to get there is going to either the waffle and to Drive, or if you're already in your Drive or you like to type websites, drive.google.com. Once you get to Google Drive, you can click on New, come down to More, and Google Sites is right there. And a third way, depending on how you like to access things. Me personally, I have a strange addiction to typing in websites. I don't like to use shortcuts. I don't really like to use the waffle. I just type in sites.google.com and hit return to go to the website. That's just me. That's what I do. I have a strange addiction to typing websites, like I said. So you do it however you want to do it. Now, when you get here, there are some templates already set up. You can click on some of these templates and look and see how they look. There are more templates too. So if we click here on the template gallery, there's supposedly going to be some that people on APS build for us to use, but for now, just look at the general ones, and you can scroll down and get an idea of if you like any of these. You can just choose one and go from there. I'm going to come back to the sites page and choose a blank website, a blank Google site, and I'll teach you how to build one from there. Once your page loads, it will look like this. Now, me personally, I think the best place to start is over here on themes. So if we click on themes, we'll see what the different themes are. This is the simple theme that it gives you with this kind of teal color to start with. If you like the way that theme looks, you can just choose different colors. This will change kind of the fonts and some of the highlights on the pages, things like that. So as you move through, check them out. You can look at the different font styles too. So make some of these choices. See which ones you like the best. I'm going to click through some of them just so you can get an idea of what some of the different themes look like. You see how that accent color changed on that one as I clicked around. Here's one here. Now Vision, I think, is one that I like. Yeah, I like this one because it adds this nice colored header bar up here at the top. So this is going to be one I'm going to use today. You can see as I change the different colors, it changes the colors of those headers. I like blue, so I'm going to stick with blue. Font type, let's look, what does modern look like? And what does classic look like? I think I'm going to keep it with bold. Bold, there we go. So once you have your theme set, I like to choose the theme first because it shows you what your highlight colors are, and maybe if you're very specific about colors and things, if you know what your highlight colors, your header colors are going to be before you start, you may choose different images or different fonts as you work on the web page. So I like to start here with themes and then build stuff from there using the theme as part of the choice I make when I build the Google site. Once we get in here, I'll show you some of the stuff we can do. You may want to start with titling your site, and maybe you keep the same site forever and you just want to call it your name. Maybe you want to build a different website for every school year. If you're going to do that, I would recommend doing a date title. There we go, like that. And see that copies it down here right away. And then you can put a page title also. Now this doesn't have to be this. You can put this however you want. You can homework, dress code, things like that if you want. We can use these little dots off to the sides to expand it some so that it's all on one line. You can shrink it down if you want multiple lines. You can see as I shrink that, that's what that's going to look like. Things are running a little slow today, but as I pull it back out, we can make choices on how it's going to look based on some of that. I like that. Sure, why not? As we move to the edge of this box, you see I get those four arrows. I can then drag it sideways to kind of line it up in the middle. You see the blue lines show me that I have 3 equispaced sections. So there's that. It shrank it down a little bit now. I'm going to have to move it back out a little bit. It doesn't like it when I do that. There we go. Let's see if I can move it back to the middle. There we go. Now, if I don't like this image of this wood and this pine cone and all that, I can come here to change image. If you have one already stored on the hard drive of your computer, you can put it from there. If you want to bring one out of your Google Drive, which is what I'm going to do, we can click Select Image, go to Google Drive. Let's go back. There is this gallery here that's of already pre-made stuff, or options up here. I'm going to go to Albums. I like that one. This is one I use for a lot of stuff. Select, and there it is. Now, once it's here, maybe I don't look quite like the way it looks. I can play with header type right here. You notice as I come over that header type. If I want a large picture, there's what's called a cover. There's a large banner, regular banner. If I don't like the picture at all, I can just go title only. So there's that. I'm going to keep it as a banner. Let me show you these over here. This right here is the readability adjustment. So what it did, you didn't notice it, but it made my picture a little bit darker so that I could read the words better. If I click it, you'll see it'll undo it. It brightens my picture some. There's the R here kind of blends in with that silver some. So we like to keep the readability on. This next one is anchor. If I click on the anchor, it will allow me to adjust the picture. So maybe I want it to look more like that instead of like that. So you can move this around, find the one you liked best. So let's start talking about inserting stuff. Here on Insert, you have options right away for text box, image, embed, or something from the drive. You may want to just slide down a little bit and look at the layouts. If we click Layout, let me choose this layout here. This gives me an option already for a picture or something, a header, a description. So if we click this, now I'd recommend, before I click this, I'm going to tell you, I'd recommend doing like a picture of your classroom and maybe a picture of yourself, a description of yourself, so that parents can get to your Google site and know who you are and what your classroom looks like even before the school year starts. It will also kind of help alleviate some of that introductory stuff from Open House. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to go to Select Image. And here in my photos, I have a picture of an old classroom of mine, this right here that I'm going to use. I'll click that there and then click Insert down here. And it's going to drop it right onto my web page. It's loading up a minute. Now here's some cropping options. If I click crop, it shows me what it looks like. I can click and hold and zoom these in or out to kind of make it fit inside of the frame it gave me. If I want to zoom in some, this right here will zoom in. Maybe I like that better. The 4 arrows, I can move it a little bit around like this. So maybe that's the picture of my classroom I want parents to see, that right there. Click away, and there it is. If I decide I don't like that, this next button is the uncrop. And see, it takes it back to the original. You can add a link, you can get rid of it, or add some alt text. Alt text would be an option for if you have a parent or a student who needs to use a screen reader for vision problems, an alt text like that. So you can say picture of Mr. Hoover's classroom, and hit apply. Now this next one over here, when we click onto where it says click to edit text, it gives us a bunch of options: titles, fonts, font sizes, the regular bolds, italics, a lot of the stuff you're used to seeing. I'm going to switch this to a heading, and I'll tell you why in a second. I'm going to type a little bit about myself. Maybe you want to say something like, all about Mr. Hoover. There we go. Click down here and I can say, Mr. Hoover will be da 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 da. Whatever you're going to write about yourself so that parents know who you are. Further down here, let me show you just how to use, without using the layouts, how to use some of these. If I just click text box here, it comes in like that. If I switch it to heading, and again I'll show you in a second why, I can do something like, I can type homework policy, our homework, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you're going to be with your homework policy, put it like that. You can change your fonts here, font sizes, bolds, italics, underlines, all this, alignments, all the stuff you're used to seeing is all in here. I can do another text box with another heading, dress code, something. The reason we use this heading option when we do those is in case you want to put a table of contents in your Google site. Table of contents right here goes into the top and it uses all of the headings. So where I used heading comes in up here. Where I used heading comes in here. So anytime you use the heading, it comes in here at the top. Maybe you decide you're looking at this right here and you think, maybe I'd like to just put a little picture of myself so that parents know what I look like. We can shrink this down a little bit. That's fine. If we give this a double click, 1, 2, look at that. This shows up. I can click image, and it gives me those same options. Google Drive, photos, image search, any of that. I'm going to click photos. And I'm going to use this picture of myself from right here. Insert. And there I am. So now there's a picture of my classroom. There's a little biography of me. There's a picture of me. Parents can know all about me as their child's teacher before they even come into the school year. Maybe somewhere up here, maybe in here also if you have room, you want to add like a mascot for your school. So I'm going to do this from Google Drive. I have an image I want to use in there. There we go. I'm going to use this one. Yep. There we go. Now I can also add images if I want to add an image like further down. Maybe you want to add a picture of students in their dress code. If we click images here, upload or select, I'm going to go to select. I'm going to use my photos. And maybe this is a picture of a kid in proper dress code. So we're going to click on that, click insert, and it comes in down here at the bottom. We can do all the cropping and uncropping, all the stuff we did before. We can actually click and hold and drag it up into this box if we want. Now let's say you don't want to do all this stuff on the same page with the table of contents and all that. Maybe just your home page, you just want just all about your teacher. And you want to have different pages for parents and students to go to find out other things. So if I click here on pages, and the plus down here at the bottom, you can add a new link, new menu section, but let's add a new page for now. It's going to tell us there we can add a new page. So I'm going to hit home, work, done. And so now I have a new page here. You can see across the top I have home and homework. These are different pages. I can hit plus, new page. Maybe you want to do the dress code here. like that. Let's say maybe you have different homework for different class periods. So if I click on home, if I come to homework, there's these 3 dots. I can click that, and I can click add a sub page. What that's going to do is it's going to let me do something like homeroom homework. I can come back here, click the 3 dots again, add another sub page, and do no, study hall doesn't have homework. That's where they do their homework. If we do instead second period, so that comes in here. You can see in my navigation across the top now I have home, homework, which gives me homeroom and second period options, and dress code. So all that navigation's coming in up here. You can do the same thing for dress codes. Maybe for dress code, you have a Spirit Week coming up, and you want to add a sub page that talks just about what the dress code for Spirit Week is going to be, because usually that's a little bit different for Spirit Weeks. Dress codes change a little bit, and you can see those drop down menus are there up there now too. Maybe on your web page you just want to have the home page be about you. Coming down here from insert, we can add some different things. So one of the options, we already talked about table of contents, but there's an image carousel. That would be where you could add a bunch of different pictures. Maybe you will just want to take some pictures of students working in your classroom, and you add those pictures and they just kind of cycle through. A button is going to be a button to another web page, like a link. Dividers are kind of nice because then we can put a divider between every section. It makes it a little bit more obvious that you're done with this section of the website and there's something else below it. I'll show you that one right away. So if I click on here and I click divider, it just puts this little gray line right there. Click on homework policy, click on divider, click on dress code, divider. Ooh, that didn't work out. So that didn't work out. I don't like that there. Look, there's a trash can right there. Boom. Now make sure I click on dress code, click divider. Still came in at the top, probably because it's at the bottom. And we don't need a divider between it and the bottom, so I'll just get rid of it. Now, so those are there. You can see those gray lines are there between the all about me and the homework policy and the dress code, just to separate the web page a little bit more. Placeholders are where you could put images that link to something else. You can put YouTube videos right on your web page. A calendar, so if you want to put like a calendar of all the events happening in your classroom, you can put that there. A map to your school. If you want to actually put in a Google document, a Google Slides, a Google Sheet, a Google Form, maybe you want to have a quiz on your web page and you want to put the form for the quiz on the web page. You can tell the kids on Friday morning, go take the quiz. They can just come into class, take the quiz, and it's right there on your web page. All that stuff can be done here on the page. Now, on this page, if you're going to separate it like this, if I come across to the side here to the little artist palette and click that, it's going to let me fill it in. So I can leave it white. I can make it light gray. I could make it a dark gray. I could choose to put an image behind it. I think if you're going to have multiple sections, you should alternate colors. So the table of contents, maybe the table of contents can be, we'll leave that one white. And this first all about me section can be like the dark gray. And this homework policy section can be the light gray. And even with the dividers, it really helps separate our web page out. Dress code can go back to the dark gray, so artist palette, dark gray again. Boom, look at that. So that's there, and that's helps separate things, helps parents know, students know where the different parts of your actual home page are. Now let's talk about some of these buttons up here across the top, and I'm kind of going to go backwards. I'm going to start here on the more and just show you what that is. Version history. So if you are collaborating with someone else, or if you realized, either way, if you realized you didn't like what you did the last hour and you want to go backwards, you can go to the version history and find old versions. You can make a copy of this. So if you were really ambitious and you want to make a different website for every class period, you make one basic website and make a copy for each class period. Settings here next to it. These are kind of, you have navigation options, brand images. Let me show you navigation. In navigation, there's the mode, the top. I showed you some of that a minute ago. Let me come back up so you can see it. All my navigation here at the top. If I go into settings, I can change that to the side, which puts a little thing right here, but when we're on the live page, it puts some of the buttons off to the side. Or it'll let people click over there to show it. You have your colors transparent. Brand images. If you want to put like a school mascot or something into your web page, let me show you what that looks like. Just kind of makes it look more like it belongs to your school. Put a picture of your school mascot or a little picture of your school. Oh, it was over here. Okay, so once that's loaded in, I can scroll down. I want to use this as my logo. So I'm going to click it there and click Insert. And you can see now that it's inserted, it's actually up here in my header. I can put alt text for that if I want. That way, if anybody using a screen reader can just see that the screen reader will read that as the EdTech logo. All right, there's other options here. Viewer tools. Analytics aren't turned on by default. We'd have to contact somebody to do that for you. And I don't know that we can do that in organization anyway. So there's settings. Now, if you are building a grade level website and you want to add other collaborators, you have built most of it and you want to say, hey, the rest of my team, let's go check it out. You can click this button right here. Once this loads up, you can type in a name. Let me use Karin right here. And I can choose if I want Karin to be an editor or just a viewer so he can see what's published. Or if he's going to be part of my grade level team, I can choose him to be an editor, whichever one. And I can send him a message. Hey, check out and edit our grade level website. And then I can click send. And he'll get a notification saying that he is an editor on my website and he can come in and start making edits too. We can have other links here. Now, this, as you're building things, it's really important to kind of look at this one sometimes. This is the preview. Clicking on preview. This is what this website's going to look like once it's published and live. You can see my logos over here. Here's my navigation off to the sides. Looking at these buttons down here, you can see this one's lit up. It's a large screen, so a laptop or a desktop computer. This next one, if I click that, will show what it looks like on a tablet, like an iPad or some other tablet. And this is what it's going to look like on a smartphone. So check some of these out, scroll through them, make sure things look the way you want it to look, or you're okay with the way it looks, because it's going to look different on those than it will. There have been times where I made something that I thought just looked amazing in the large screen view, and when I went to the tablet or the mobile view, it did not look good at all, and I had to go back and rework the whole website. So make sure you check those out and make sure they still look kind of the way you want them to look and they act the way you want them to look before you publish. If you're satisfied with all that, you have the whole website set up exactly the way you want it to. You have added collaborators that you want to add. All your settings are right. Your logos, images, everything's exactly how you want it. Then we can come here to publish. And here's the title that I typed in over here earlier. But the whole website's going to be https://sites.google.com/aps.edu/21-22 Mr. Hoover's class. That's a lot. So maybe we want to take this down some and we can just call it something like Mr. Hoover. Okay, maybe Mr. Hoover 22, because it's going to end in the 22 school year. So there it is. Sites.google.com/aps.edu/Mr. Hoover 22. That's my website. So it still has the thing I typed in up here, but this is what I want this is going to be the website that I give to parents. I click publish. It's going to publish. And now this is a live website. I can send the link. The link right here is live. I can copy that and send it to people to check out my website. Now maybe after I publish it, I decide later on that I don't want to use this dress code picture. So if I click on this and I hit delete, and maybe I want to go back and add a different picture. Let's see what other pictures I can put in. Maybe I want this picture for my dress code picture instead. So I click that. Maybe I'm going to change the picture every couple weeks. And I want to do a different picture now. So now I hit insert. This picture is going to come in instead of the one I had before. And now I want to republish it. Just changing it here does not change it on the live web page. You have to come back and republish it. So I'm going to click publish again. There's a drop down. Let's see what the drop down says. Publish settings, review changes and publish site, unpublish. So I want to review changes and publish. If I just click publish again, it's going to do that. It's going to take me to review changes and publish. It will show me what is currently live in the world, and it will show me a draft page. Now once this has fully loaded, it will show us what we changed on this side, and we can choose to publish it then. There it is, fully loaded, so I can scroll down and see this is the draft that I haven't published yet. All this looks exactly the same. There's that new picture. If I scroll down on this other side, it all looks the same, all looks the same, all looks the same. There's the picture I deleted. So I deleted this one. This is the current published live page. This is the new draft. If I like the new draft better, then I click publish. And that's the page that the next person who goes to my website sees. All right, so using all that information, go ahead and go get started. Start building your classroom webpage and sharing information with your parents and community and family. Go have fun.